Today we're doing a deep dive exposing a series of pyramid schemes that give the world of men's self-help its structure. But what we're going to uncover is a system that goes far beyond the world of men's self-help and has seriously broad implications on the next generation. Do you wish that girls would kiss you, but no matter what, you suck and you're ugly? Well, guess what? I used to be like you. I used to have bad skincare and a dirty little wiener. That was until I developed my high-value, secretive method for success that took me from being a little wimp to being my best self. My multifaceted philosophy is this: go to the gym. The link to my self-mastery course is in my bio. It only costs $3,000 a month. Now that might sound like a lot, but the value you're gonna get from it on a month-by-month basis. Mom, I'm doing it. We are all familiar with the world of men's self-help. Andrew Tate, Jordan Peterson, that one annoying kid from high school that constantly posts shirtless pics on his Instagram story. Everyone has at least a surface level understanding of the men's self-help club and why it might be a little negative. But when you start to dig deeper and really try to understand their models, you're gonna find information that's a little darker than you first thought it might be. And that is exactly what we're doing. Today, we're exposing the men's self-help pyramid scheme.
Welcome to Eric's Realm Bitch.
We're just gonna get right into it. Let me walk you through how you might fall into the bottom of one of these funnel systems. Let's say theoretically, you're an insecure teenage boy. You've been bullied, you're a social outcast, nobody likes you, and you're dirty little wiener. One day, you stumble on a video with an intriguing title: Why Girls Don't Like You. Why You're a Failure. Why you're a loser. Why your little wiener is dirty and little. You click on it, and there's a guy with big muscles confidently shouting at you. You watch it, and desperate for any sort of lifeline that can pull you out of this hole of social disapproval and addictions, you take notes with great attention. And you pick up some good information. Go to the gym. Try not to care what people think. Maybe start a business. Then at the end of the video, he tells you, now if you're doing it right, you suck a little less after watching this video, but you still suck on the whole. You're a little baby girl. If you want to get a permanent solution on how not to suck, buy my course, How to Be an Alpha Male and Not Suck, brackets, alpha males only. And you spend $499 or some sort of similarly ridiculous monthly premium to gain access to a few videos that basically just tell you, go to the gym, start a business, meditate, stop jerking off in excruciating detail. They go really far into not jerking off, which, don't jerk off too much, but
listen, when you're on no-fap and semen retention, your art of discernment is going to be crazy. If you've been second-guessing it, saying, nah, I can't stop for that long, I can't do this, look at me. I'm swagging every day, confidence through the roof. You feel me? Being able to make these videos second nature, no problem. Listen, alphamaleacademy.school. I think you know.
Now, I'm sure that you've heard of this phenomenon before. Maybe you've taken one of these courses and you go, okay, I get it, how this might be a little unethical, might be an example of predatory marketing, but I don't really see how this is a pyramid scheme. I'm gonna get there, okay? That's what the whole video is. You just be a little patient. I just feel like you're not... I just feel like you never listened to me. Let me walk you through a different scenario later on in the same timeline. It's 2 years later. You are the same kid, except now you are a self-help influencer yourself. Now you're the one telling people to go to the gym, to start reading, to be their best selves and not to care what other people think. But when you turn the camera off, you have a problem. You've plateaued. You're hovering at a few thousand subscribers. You preach to people about being their best selves, but you look at your own lack of social clout, about the fact that nobody's buying your $20 course and your self-esteem is lower than ever. But one day, when you're scoping out the competition, you stumble on this.
When I was 17, I was ugly, shy, and broke. By the end of this video, you're gonna realize that there was one solution in my life that fixed all of these problems, and it can do the exact same thing for you. This one trick that has made millions in my life also fixed my ugliness and my shyness all at once, meaning you can bypass the 10 years of growth I had to do and just do this one thing, and you fix all your 3 categories. And the solution to fix everything for me, at least for me, it was creating content. Our formula is so good, we launched a content academy. It was limited to a few guys. We just launched this in December. It's
Another
now
content
getting
creator
better.
selling courses about being a content creator. Selling courses. He's using the exact same techniques that you do, telling you that you're worthless, that he used to be just like you, except now he's one rung up the ladder. He's making more money. He's getting more women. His wiener is big and clean. Okay? He's got a clean ween. And the best part is, he can show you how. You use his simple strategies to create viral content. His team connects you with the right brands, and he shows your audience how to stop being such a little bitch. A little girl, a little baby girl, little Debbie selling cosmic brownies for the alphas like us. And I'm not exposing a men's self-improvement pyramid scheme. There are dozens of social media guru courses funneling you into being an alpha male content creator. And just like that, you've fallen victim to one gigantic pyramid scheme. Okay, if we're being very technical, we actually can't call this a pyramid scheme or a multi-level marketing scheme. I'm going to read this off because this is a lot of words. A multi-level marketing scheme is a business model where companies use independent sales representatives to sell products directly to consumers, wherein each level up, the salespeople gain more and more commission. A pyramid scheme is typically defined as when the same type of commission structure exists, with there being no actual product being sold at the top. And despite the fact that these social media gurus share certain external features, such as expensive courses, peddling off products, seminars, promises of extraordinary results, sometimes spiritual growth, aggressive and often demeaning marketing techniques, and it is conspicuous that these creators will sometimes connect you with brands that you can sell. Without spending thousands of dollars for one or many of these courses, we really can't say whether they earn any commission. So it would be legally libelous to label these as pyramid schemes or multi-level marketing schemes. I know. I wanted them to be evil too. Trust me, I wanted, so bad. But there is a pyramid scheme going on here. Yes, I know. Yeah. Woo! A pyramid scheme which is much more subtle, interesting, and has far, far broader implications. This is not a traditional marketing pyramid scheme. This is a self-esteem pyramid scheme. And this time, we're going to start analyzing it from the top.
I do feel like there are some people who are trying to follow in my footsteps, and imitation is certainly is flattering. It was always going to happen. There was always going to be people who were trying to be me. But there will always be
what do you actually need? Like fundamentally? Food, water, shelter, a certain amount of social interaction and community. Everyone knows you don't actually need to have a Bugatti.
Well, what color's your Bugatti?
You don't actually need to have 100 sexual partners. You don't actually need to have 1 billion followers. You don't need this stuff. You want this stuff. And the thing that makes you want this stuff is your ego, your sense of self, or rather, your lack thereof. The thing that drives someone to incessantly crave external validation, and by that I mean the appreciation of others, the thing that causes someone to want that is a lack of a sense of self or low self-esteem. They don't know or like who they are on the inside, and so they turn to the outside to have someone else prescribe a sense of self for them. And this is where we find our self-help gurus. Self-improvement influencers have created a pyramid scheme-like hierarchy of self-worth. Your position in this hierarchy, and therefore how they determine your entire value as a person, is evaluated by the most simple animalistic social metrics. Your number of sexual partners, the amount of money that you have, especially the number of social media followers that you have. It's crazy that an adult would actually operate on this, but according to these people, or at least what they preach in their videos, the higher each of these numbers are, the closer you are to being your best self. At the top of the pyramid, you have Andrew Tate, a person whose lifestyle and courses are being pretty openly and overtly imitated by everybody else in the self-improvement space. At the moment, within the hyper-masculine alpha male space, buy my supplements, get my courses, he is met with near universal acclaim and validation. validation from all sides. Then you have the first layer of imitators, people who, wanting the same sense of social validation and maybe even a little personal validation from Daddy Tate himself, start their own channels and make courses about starting channels and making courses. I don't want to name anyone who isn't deeply in the public eye already because I'm not making this video to spark hate or drama, so I think Sneeko is probably the most famous example of this. Then some people who want to be at that level start making their own videos, courses, and channels, etc., etc., etc. And the whole system is reinforced by sucking up to the people above you and calling the people below you little girls, little bitches, little Debbies. Of course, none of the things they're referencing are wrong or evil to want in and of themselves. You know, going to the gym, being a capable person, having some money, being in a relationship, wanting to do something great with your life. This is all good stuff. It's all great. The issue is when you pull back and you look at what sort of language is being used and what sort of values and attitudes these men have, it looks like these guys want these things because they have low self-esteem and crave social validation, and they're encouraging you to do the same thing and saying that you're a bitch if you don't need validation, if you don't need people to compliment your car, if you don't need people to compliment your muscles, if you don't need people to know how much sex you have. That makes you a little bitch. It looks like a bunch of 25 to 35-year-old men who desperately crave social validation because they have low self-esteem. These men are not alphas. They are people who desperately need you to like them, to respect them, to fear them. And they've built a pathetic pyramid scheme built on insulting the people below you, convincing them that they're not. But here's a different perspective. If these social media gurus are encouraging young men to be confident, to go to the gym, to make something of themselves, to even get rid of addictions, how bad could they possibly be? They're encouraging young men to do such positive things. Going to the gym is good. Being untethered to addictions is good. Improving yourself is good. So why don't you appreciate the good things? I do. I do. I go to the gym. I worked really hard to pull myself out of addictions. And I appreciate that there are a lot of people out there who need help out of these holes. And it's good that there are people who are helping them out of these holes. But that help is coming packaged in with a whole mentality. Let's be honest. Most of these guys' audiences are young boys. Boys. Children. You know? And when children have idols, they want to be just like the person they look up to. You know, to adopt their whole mentality and their value system. But a person can only teach you to be as good as they are. So let's look at an example of what these men's value systems are.
What do the best men really look like? Because online there's like a debate of what kind of man is most attractive to women.
You're so busy talking about happiness and unpacking trauma, you miss the point. That you're just supposed to stay out the way, make money, and have fun.
Women don't respect men with no hose. Bro, look a girl in the eyes and you f*** her, tell her you're gonna cheat on her. She loves it. Bro, man, they don't respect a man. They don't respect a man with no hose. She goes out.
This is what the whole point I'm making comes down to. There is a certain subset of self-help gurus that consists of men who are preying on young boys who are insecure because they're not loved or approved of, and they're unconfident in their sexuality. They tell these kids, you're right to think that you're not good enough the way you are, and I have a system that shows you how to be your best self. Come listen to me, how to be your best self. But they can only teach you to be as good as they are, and what does their value system dictate good is? To them, this idea of good, of best, means just being able to attract as many women as possible. That's all. Just being at the top of an arbitrary social hierarchy, getting validation from other people. Good doesn't mean to be self-realized. It doesn't mean to be truthful. It doesn't mean to be compassionate. It doesn't mean to be, good, to be decent. It's encouraging young boys, the next generation, to forsake all of those actual values and make them think, if I can fuck, then my life has purpose. If I can fuck, then there's meaning to the world. When you dig deeper and you start to question what these creators' senses of self actually are, you're confronted with an incredibly shallow, unphilosophical, and downright depressing perspective on the world. What that means is you're going to have thousands of kids buying these courses, going to the gym, starting Instagram pages, wanting to be content creators themselves. And after a few years, when they mature just a little bit and they start to rethink and reevaluate whether or not money is going to give them their worth, whether or not sex is going to give them their worth, whether or not respect is going to give them their worth, whether or not social validation is going to give them their worth. When they think all the way back to what actually made them start this journey, they're going to be left asking the same question. Who am I?
Once you fat, you lose bone marrow. It comes out your spinal fluid, brain fluid. You're foggy. You don't know how to, conduct your life.
Self is a concept that has been studied from thousands of perspectives in thousands of cultures. People spend their whole lives trying to understand who they are, what existence is, and what anything means.
You have to answer.
Considering the objectively perplexing nature of so-called reality, one would assume and perhaps even hope that it would take a whole lifetime of study and introspection to understand who we are. When 25-year-old men whose greatest accomplishments are obtaining a moderate degree of self-esteem and wealth are teaching 15-year-old boys how to be themselves, all we can guarantee is that the next generation will be raised as fools. If the blind lead the blind, both will fall into a pit. Deprived of real mentors and disoriented by the world's cruel ways, these cheated boys have fallen only deeper into the well of samsara and materialism.
I think you know.
Who are you? Who am I? These questions lust for an answer. But one must stay vigilant to not be cheated into believing you are what you are not. There is only one you. And it wants to subscribe. It wants to subscribe. It wants to subscribe now. Subscribe now. I want to subscribe. Want to subscribe. Subscribe.